Have you ever heard a silence so loud it deafens you? That was the silence in our Chicago brownstone the night I found the receipt. It wasn't for a necklace or a weekend spa trip. My wife Jessica was fond of those. This was a small, crinkled slip from a hardware store on the far side of town, dated 2 weeks prior. The item, a single, high-gauge extension cord. It was the kind of purchase you make for a specific, heavy-duty job. The kind of job the electrician Marco had just finished in our attic. Installing hidden outlets for what Jessica called her crafting corner. My heart didn't just sink. It vaporized. The attic wasn't for crafting, it was their place. And that flimsy piece of paper was the first thread in the unraveling of my entire world. We genuinely enjoy our stories. Please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Our marriage had become a performance piece. On the surface, we were the perfect couple on Chicago's Gold Coast. I was a financial analyst, providing a life she flaunted on Instagram. She was the beautiful, charming wife who chaired charity events. But behind the closed doors of our Lincoln Park home, a chilling draft had crept in. Her phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now permanently attached to her hand, screen angled away from me. Her laughter, once a warm melody that filled our home, sounded brittle, reserved for texts that would arrive with a buzz at 2 a.m. When I'd ask who it was, she'd wave a dismissive hand. "Just work, honey. You know how it is." I didn't. My work didn't text me in the dead of night with smiley faces. The discovery wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow, agonizing burn. It started with the hardware store receipt, then a credit card statement I opened by mistake. A charge for a room at the Ambassador Hotel on a Tuesday afternoon. She was supposedly at a yoga retreat. I called the hotel, my voice trembling, asking about a lost watch. The front desk clerk, a kind woman with a weary voice, confirmed Mrs. Jessica Thorne had checked in. And checked out 2 hours later. The final piece clicked into place when I saw his truck, Marco's Electric, parked 2 blocks from our house on a day he had no reason to be in the neighborhood. Was supposed to be across town on another job. But he wasn't. He was waiting. They thought they were untouchable, wrapped in a cocoon of arrogance and deceit. The breakdown happened on a rainy Thursday. I was sitting in my car across from a little Italian diner on Rush Street, the windows fogged from my own breath. I watched them in a booth by the window. Jessica was laughing, twirling pasta on her fork, her head tilted in that way she used to look at me. Marco reached across the table, his hand covering hers. It wasn't a friendly gesture. It was possessive. Ownership. In that moment, watching the woman I had built my life with give herself to another man, something inside me didn't just break, turn to ice. The humiliation was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest until I couldn't breathe. I drove home in a daze, the city lights blurring through my tears. The loyal, loving husband was gone. In his place stood a man with nothing left to lose and a cold, clear purpose: revenge. My grief hardened into strategy. The first step was the attic. I waited until Jessica was at one of her charity lunches and went upstairs. The air was stale and thick with the smell of sawdust and cheap cologne, tucked behind a loose floorboard. I found what I was looking for. Cigarette butts Marco's, branded. A discarded earring, one of a pair I'd given Jessica for our anniversary. The proof was no longer circumstantial. It was tangible. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who specialized in marital infidelity. He wired our home with audio and video, turning their secret sanctuary into my observation deck. I listened to their whispered conversations, their plans, their mockery of me. Every word was a nail in Jessica's coffin. I also contacted a forensic accountant. Jessica had her own business account for her interior design hobby. It turned out to be a slush fund, siphoning money from our joint accounts to fund her affair diners, hotels, even gifts for Marco. The trap was set. Jessica's family was old money, and their annual foundation gala was the biggest social event of the season. Her father, a stern, proud man who valued reputation above all else, was the keynote speaker. This was my stage. 2 days before the event, I filed for divorce, citing adultery. I had the pie serve Jessica the papers at the salon while she was getting her hair done for the gala. The legal papers were just the opening act. The main event was for her father. I compiled everything into a single elegant leather-bound portfolio, transcripts of their conversations. Photos from the pie of them entering the Ambassador Hotel, the forensic accountant's report detailing the stolen money, and a close-up shot of the earring found in the attic. I had it delivered by messenger to her father's office an hour before the gala began, with a simple, unsigned note. You should know who your daughter really is. The night of the gala was a masterpiece of social destruction. I arrived alone, a quiet storm in a tailored suit. Jessica was already there, her face a mask of panicked fury. Then her father walked in. He didn't look at her. He walked straight past her, his face carved from granite, and took the stage. He scrapped his planned speech. Instead, he announced that due to irreconcilable ethical breaches, his daughter was being removed from the Foundation S board, and that all family financial support was being terminated, effective immediately. A wave of gasps and whispers rippled through the grand ballroom of the Drake Hotel. Jessica's face crumpled. Her social status, her identity, her entire world erased in a single public execution. She was ruined. Now the house is quiet again. The silence is different this time. It's not loud or deafening. It's empty. The divorce is final. She got nothing. Her family disowned her, and her friends, who were never really her friends, vanished. I heard Marco left town the day after the gala. The last I saw of Jessica, she was packing her things into a beat-up sedan, her designer clothes in trash bags. There was no fire in her eyes, no arrogance, just a hollow, vacant stare. I didn't feel triumph or satisfaction. I just felt cold. The Chicago wind rattles the windows of this big, empty house, and sometimes I think I can still smell his cheap cologne in the attic. The end.